Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one that feels almost unbelievable, something the world hoped would never happen. But here we are, witnessing events that have turned the heart of Russia, Moscow itself, into a zone of fear and uncertainty. The war that once raged far from the capital has now arrived on its doorstep. Millions of people are panicking as explosions echo across one of the most heavily guarded cities on Earth. Ukraine has struck directly at the Russian capital and, more alarmingly, at the factories that build the weapons fueling this long and bloody war. This is not just another battle or a small escalation. This is a turning point. For months, analysts have predicted that Ukraine would attempt to bring the war closer to Russia's power center, but few believed it would happen so suddenly or with such impact. The targets were not random. Ukraine reportedly focused on the heart of Russia's military, industrial machine. These are the factories where tanks, missiles, and drones are born, the engines of the war itself. As the news broke, chaos erupted across Moscow. Videos began flooding social media. Flashes in the sky, loud booms, emergency sirens. People rushed to shelters. Train stations were overwhelmed, and rumors spread faster than the explosions themselves. For the first time in decades, the Russian people are feeling what it's like to be in the middle of a war zone. Reports indicate that Ukraine used long-range drones and missiles to target several key defense facilities. One of the strikes is believed to have hit a major production plant connected to Russia's advanced missile systems, the same systems that have been used to bombard Ukrainian cities for over 2 years. Another explosion was reported near a drone manufacturing facility. The strikes appear coordinated, precise, and symbolic, a message that nowhere, not even Moscow, is untouchable anymore. For the Kremlin, this moment is deeply unsettling. The Russian government has spent years crafting the illusion that life in Moscow was normal, far away from the violence. The state media portrayed the war as something happening out there, in Ukraine, distant, controlled, victorious. But that illusion has shattered. Now, Russian citizens are experiencing what Ukrainians have endured since 2022, of fear, confusion, and the constant uncertainty of what comes next. The psychological impact cannot be overstated. Russia's power, its pride, its very identity, is tied to Moscow's sense of invincibility. Yet, in a matter of hours, that image was cracked. Videos show long lines at gas stations, people withdrawing cash, others packing their belongings and fleeing the city. The air defense systems that once promised safety have been tested, and some failed. According to initial reports, Ukrainian drones managed to evade Russia's most advanced radar systems. Experts suggest this could indicate weaknesses in Russia's air defense network, especially around critical industrial zones. If that's true, it's a strategic disaster for Moscow. It means Ukraine has not only demonstrated its capability to reach deep into Russian territory, but also exposed serious vulnerabilities that could change the course of this conflict. Ukraine, of course, has not officially taken responsibility, at least not directly, but several statements from Kyiv's officials make it clear that they view these attacks as legitimate self-defense. For Ukraine, the logic is simple. If Russia can bomb Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Odessa, then Russia's own war machine is a fair target. Many Ukrainians see this as justice, not escalation. But on the Russian side, the reaction has been explosive, politically and emotionally. The Kremlin has vowed retaliation, calling the strikes terrorist acts. Putin's spokesperson appeared on state television, visibly shaken, declaring that Russia will respond with all available means. Military convoys have been spotted moving toward western Russia, and air defense systems are now on full alert across several cities. Internationally, the world is watching closely. Western leaders are walking a careful line, supporting Ukraine's right to defend itself, yet wary of how far this conflict could spread. NATO has not confirmed any involvement or support for these particular strikes, but analysts believe Ukraine likely used its own domestically modified drones and missiles, enhanced by Western technology. This move sends a powerful message. Ukraine is not only surviving, it's adapting. Despite months of Russian bombardments and dwindling ammunition supplies, Kyiv is showing that it can strike back in ways that make even the Kremlin nervous. It's a reminder that the war's dynamics are shifting, and Russia no longer holds absolute control of escalation. Inside Moscow, the government is struggling to maintain order. Authorities have closed several metro stations after reports of explosions nearby. Mobile networks briefly went down in some districts. State media first denied the attacks, then blamed Ukrainian sabotage groups, and finally acknowledged unidentified aerial objects being shot down, but the damage was already done both physically and psychologically. For ordinary Russians, this is the moment many feared but never thought possible. The propaganda that once assured them of safety is now colliding with reality. The social media posts tell a different story. Terrified families sheltering in basements, smoke rising from industrial zones, and the eerie wail of sirens across the city. This is the sound of war finally coming home. Across Ukraine, the mood is a mix of defiance and relief. For months, Ukrainian civilians have endured nightly air raids, living under constant threat. Many see this as poetic justice, that the same factories which produce the missiles destroying their homes are now themselves under attack. On social networks, Ukrainian users posted messages like "Now you know how it feels," and "War should not be one-sided." But beyond the emotions, there's strategy at play. Ukraine's leadership knows that targeting military infrastructure in Russia sends shockwaves far beyond the battlefield. It disrupts production lines, damages morale, and forces Russia to divert resources to defense. Each missile Russia fires costs millions, and each one destroyed before it's even built saves countless Ukrainian lives. Yet there's no denying the danger of escalation. With Moscow under attack, the stakes are higher than ever. Putin may feel compelled to respond dramatically to prove strength. Some fear this could push the Kremlin toward even more brutal tactics, or worse, a desperate move involving unconventional weapons. The balance between retaliation and restraint has never been thinner. Around the world, leaders are urging calm. The United Nations has called for de-escalation, warning that continued strikes on cities could lead to uncontrollable consequences. Meanwhile, intelligence agencies in Europe and the U.S. are analyzing the attack's precision, how Ukraine managed to bypass defenses that were once thought impenetrable. In military terms, this marks a new era in warfare. The idea that a smaller, embattled nation could reach the capital of a nuclear superpower with homegrown technology would have seemed impossible a decade ago. But drone warfare has changed everything. These are not traditional armies fighting face to face. This is a war of technology, innovation, and willpower. In the skies above Moscow, the future of modern war unfolded. Silent drones, guided by satellite, carrying explosives powerful enough to destroy factories but small enough to evade radar. It's a new kind of battlefield, one where distance offers no protection. For Russia's leadership, this attack exposes a haunting truth, that their massive defense budget and advanced systems cannot guarantee safety. For Ukraine, it's proof that determination and ingenuity can overcome even the largest armies. But for the rest of the world, it's a chilling warning. Because if this war can reach Moscow, it can reach anywhere. As night fell over the Russian capital, reports of additional explosions continued to surface. Some were intercepted drones, others reportedly hit power stations and storage facilities. Emergency services struggled to contain fires. Moscow's skyline, once a symbol of power and security, was glowing with the light of distant flames. Meanwhile, Russian citizens took to the internet to express anger and fear. They told us we were safe. One wrote, "Now we know that was a lie." Another message read, "Our sons die in Ukraine, and now we might die here too." These are the voices of a population waking up to a grim reality. That the war their government began has come full circle. In Kyiv, officials hinted that more strikes could follow if Russia continues its aggression. One Ukrainian defense advisor reportedly said, "As long as Russia attacks our cities, no place that builds weapons to kill us will be safe." That statement alone sends a message louder than any explosion. As this new phase unfolds, one question looms large: what happens next? Will Moscow tighten its grip, impose martial law, or expand the war beyond Ukraine? Will the Russian public finally begin to question the cost of this conflict? Or will this only fuel a new wave of nationalism and revenge? The answers remain uncertain. What's clear is that the illusion of distance is gone. The war that began with tanks crossing Ukraine's borders has now reached the center of Russian power. The story of this conflict is no longer about one nation invading another. It's about the unraveling of a global order built on the idea that great powers are untouchable. Tonight, as the world watches the fires burn in Moscow, we are reminded of one powerful truth: wars never stay contained. The choices of leaders echo far beyond the battlefield, reaching cities and families who never asked to be part of it. And now, as millions in Moscow panic, as millions in Ukraine continue to resist, humanity stands at a crossroads between escalation and understanding, between destruction and survival. The coming days will define the future, not just for Russia and Ukraine, but for every nation watching this war unfold. The strike on Moscow is not just an attack on buildings or factories. It's an attack on the illusion of control, the myth of safety, and the belief that war can ever truly be someone else's problem. So, as we end this story, remember this: the world has just crossed another line, one that cannot easily be erased. The war is no longer out there, it's here, in the heart of a superpower. And whether this moment leads to peace or chaos depends on what humanity chooses next. Stay safe, stay aware, and as always, thank you for watching. Until next time, let's hope reason wins before the world loses everything.